Are you living in the US on a green card? Or maybe you're thinking about applying for US citizenship. Either way, 2025 is shaping up to be a game changer, especially under Trump's new proposed immigration rules. What used to be a clear path to citizenship is now filled with unexpected twists, tightened restrictions, and in some cases, major consequences for green card holders. Under these new rules, the difference between holding a green card and a U.S. passport isn't just about travel convenience anymore. We're talking about access to government benefits, protection from deportation, new visa scrutiny, and even how long you can stay outside the U.S. without risking everything. For example, did you know that in 2025, Trump's policies could reintroduce travel bans and increase the risk of green card revocation for long stays abroad? That's right. Being a lawful permanent resident no longer guarantees long-term security. And applying for citizenship? That might come with stricter background checks, language exams, and possibly ideological tests if certain policies move forward. Meanwhile, U.S. citizens, passport holders, don't just get global mobility and voting rights. They get legal protections that permanent residents simply don't have. In fact, if you're a green card holder and end up in legal trouble or violate immigration terms, you could be deported, even if you've lived here for decades. This video breaks down all the shocking changes you need to know, whether you're a green card holder weighing your next step, or just curious about how immigration is evolving under Trump's potential second term. So buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's at stake and what move might protect your future the most. If you find this information valuable, smash that like button to help this video reach more people who need to hear it. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. So you've just watched the hook and maybe you're sitting there thinking, okay, so what exactly is changing? How will it affect me or the people I know? Let's walk through it, step by step, but in a way that feels natural, like we're sitting down for coffee and getting real about what's coming. First up, let's talk about the core of these changes. The divide between being a green card holder and holding a U.S. passport. Up till now, a green card, being a lawful permanent resident, has offered a solid set of benefits. You get to live and work in the U.S. long term, you can sponsor family members for immigration, and after a few years, apply for citizenship. But here's the kicker. Under these new rules, that line has massively shifted. Imagine this. You're sitting at home, planning a trip abroad for a family wedding or to visit relatives. In the past, as a green card holder, you could go for 6 months, sometimes even longer, and almost always get back in without a fuss. That could change big time. The proposed policies are calling for much stricter scrutiny of how long you stay outside the U.S. If you're gone too long, you might have to explain yourself, or worse, risk losing your green card. Suddenly, something as trivial as a delayed flight or an unexpected medical emergency overseas could throw everything into question. But it's not just about travel. Think about things like federal student aid or even certain job opportunities. Right now, a green card can help you qualify for in-state tuition and various government-backed programs. Soon, those benefits could be slashed or tied to deeper vetting processes meant to favor citizens. That means if you're thinking about paying for college or applying for a job where quasi-governmental backing is a factor, now your status might count against you. So what about citizenship? You've probably heard whispers about how naturalization might become a lot tougher. It's not just paperwork and English proficiency anymore. The new rules could bring in ideological screenings, meaning the government might start probing your political beliefs, affiliations, even your social media activity. We're talking about months of targeted interviews, maybe a reverse immigration U-turn, where they start unfurling suspicion and make the path from green card to passport feel less like a staircase and more like a gauntlet. Then there's the flip side. If you're already a U.S. citizen with a passport, man, does it feel like hitting a jackpot in all of this? It's like you've unlocked a safety vault: voting rights, protection from deportation, no revocation threat. You can push back if someone questions your presence in the U.S. and you get to travel with freedom that is basically bulletproof compared to green card holders. If you've been teetering on the edge about whether to start the naturalization process, well, under this scenario, it's less choice and becomes more urgent. But let's pause for a second and get real. These are proposed policies. That means they're floating around, getting debated in courts, Congress, and the public sphere. That said, some are already moving. Tighter international travel rules tied to time spent abroad, pilot programs flagging green card cases for inadmissibility towards public charge, meaning they suspect some folks might rely on social services. We could see priority queues prioritized for new citizens, even for income-based assessments. What does that actually look like in day-to-day life? Let me paint some sketches. Say you've had a green card for 10 years. Maybe you lived abroad for a stretch, raising a kid, working overseas, or caring for family. In the past, you'd re-enter the US by showing your green card and answering a few normal questions. Where have you been? How long? Now, your brown envelope snack might include a request to prove continuous residency. They might ask for tax returns, utility bills, affidavits, sworn statements. That's assuming the border officer doesn't wave you over for a secondary inspection. Without that documentation, they could refuse your reentry, send you to immigration court, and put you in the position of fighting to keep your status. Scary, right? And by the way, rejection like that isn't hypothetical. This year, at ports of entry, we've already seen a 20% increase in secondary inspections flagged as immigration risk. That's from internal reporting that came out in late 2024. Not to scare people, but to inform. Because whether you fly back or bum a ride back across the border, that process could turn your trip home into a legal maze, complete with orders to show cause, hearings, appeals. Now, if you're thinking, wow, that's worse than I thought, you're not wrong. But it also means this: citizenship isn't just a checkbox anymore, it's insurance. You're insured against sudden revocation, extra scrutiny, political wins. Your US passport, status, those are your shield in a world growing more uncertain. Let's level with ourselves. The big shift here is accountability. For decades, residency has been big on benefits and light on accountability. You just pay taxes, are law-abiding, and meet time thresholds. Suddenly, the government's drawing a hard line. Show me you're here to stay, that you're committed in spirit and legally. And if you're not, they won't hesitate to revoke. What's the plan of action then? For green card folks in 2025 or planning to get one, don't treat it like citizenship light. Treat it like fragile gold. Keep impeccable records. Document where you live, work, pay taxes. Make your return trip smooth. Don't risk long stays abroad without a concrete reason and tons of paperwork. And on board sooner rather than later with naturalization, because you never know when the rules might slam shut. Oh, and this isn't just some paranoid daydream. A few states have begun linking public service benefits to citizenship. Colorado, New York, Minnesota. They're rolling out pilot programs to fast-track eligible permanent residents through naturalization so they can access state grants and jobs. That's a nod to where the winds are heading, and a signal you can use if places are racing to make citizenship more valuable. Something tells you they're reading the same tea leaves. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to empower you. Because yes, rules are tightening, but knowing them, playing by them, staying ahead is how you win. Don't let fuzzy policies derail what you've worked for. So here's the long game. Lock in your residency record, track your travels tightly, and when you can, jump on naturalization. If you're eligible, file now. Even if you don't feel ready, it's better to be processed than wait until the queue gets deeper, the interviews get stricter, or the ideological boxes get harder to tick. And lastly, talk to professionals. Immigration attorneys, community advocates, legal nonprofits, lean on them, even for quick advice. Many are already training for 2025's expanded reviews. Communities banding together are like human shields for you. Before we finish, Let's get real about feelings, because rules like this stir anxiety. People say it feels like you're walking through the shadows, wondering if one trip could cost you everything. And yeah, I feel that too. But I also feel that when we talk, when you get informed, when we prepare, we take the power back. You're not a victim of laws, you're a player in the system. Knowledge is your armor, paperwork is your passport, and citizenship is your certificate of permanence.